Today we have Hollywood. Yeah, we got Hollywood right here in Shady Acres Wood Shop. What do you know about that? This comes to us from our good friend Dave at Calmwood Creations. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop, howdy. The piece is 6 inches long, 5.5 inches wide, 3.5 inches high on that end, 3 inches high on this end. I'm gonna turn it as is, probably gonna end up being roundish or possibly an oval, slight oval. This will be the top. This will be the bottom. It's a very plain wood, almost white, kind of a cream color. I don't expect a lot of figure or beautiful grain in there. So we're going to depend on that bark to bring out the color of the wood. Once we get some finish on the wood and then on that bark, the bark is going to be so much darker, it's going to be a real nice contrast between the two. So what I'm going to do is go over here to the drill press, drill a flat bottom hole for my chuck jaws to set against, drill a hole in the middle of that for my woodworm screw, get it mounted up on the lathe, and we'll get to turning. So here's what I did at the drill press. I drilled this flat spot because of the high edge here, and then I drilled a hole for my woodworm screw. Chuck jaws are going to set down here, and woodworm screw will be in the middle. And we got a nice tight fit against that flat spot, and that is what's so important. If you don't have that flat area for the chuck jaws to sit against, it's just going to wobble. It'll take a while, you know, it'll take 3, 4, 5 minutes of turning, but pretty soon it's going to be wobbling and then it's going to go flying. So be sure you got your flat spot. Now because of this one thicker end, we're going to be out of balance most likely the entire turn. So I can only get up to about 600 RPM. I do have that good flat spot. I've got a very tight woodworm screw fitting. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to use tailstock support, but I am going to wear a glove because I'm going to be turning at this angle, knocking this corner down, and those shavings come off of there and hit you right here and they hurt. So 600 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. I'm debating whether to leave these ends square. A lot of people hate it when I do that because they're expecting a round bowl from a lathe, but it can add some interest. We'll just keep working at it kind of slowly and seeing what develops, see if it looks good or not. I'm going to come down here and flatten off the bottom. It's giving me a hard time when I get to the bottom. Because it's so rough, it's giving my chisel a hard time. Clean those cuts up a little bit. I have to take away so much wood to get rid of the flat spots, and I just hate to do that. Maybe I'll thin down this edge here, thin down the bottom. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, well, I'm going to come back to the bottom and mark out for a tenon and create a tenon. Unless we go with a recess, who knows? Okay, we'll mark out for a recess. I think we're going with a recess. Which is the same way I mark out for a tenon. A tenon needs to be a slight bit smaller than that, and a recess needs to be slightly larger than that. That's using my standard 50mm jaws. And I'll use a 1/2" bowl gouge to create that. Need to raise my tool rest a little bit so I can use this dovetail tool to put the dovetail on the side here. That's good. It's actually a little bit deeper than I need it to be, but it'll be okay. Now I can narrow down this base. I don't need it anywhere near this wide. Well, what do you think? It does look a little odd, I agree. This flat side over here, it's one size, and then here we got a great big one, then a little one, and then a nice medium one. I wish they were all like that. But that will never happen with this piece. I just can't decide if I should leave them or take them away. And if I take them away, this one is so huge, I'll just shrink the bowl down to nothing. Let me cogitate. After lengthy and proper cogitation, I decided, so what? So what? So what? So what if it's flat here and different flat here and different there and different there? So what? Who are we trying to please here? So anyway, I'm just going to go with what we've got. I'm going to do a couple of more passes. I want to get these corners as sharp as I can, and there's 2 of them that are not so good yet. And then I'll do some cleaning cuts, and we'll be done turning it on the outside anyway. Time for sanding. I'm going to start sanding with my 2" disc at 80 grit. I'll work up through 400. I'm going to have the lathe spinning in reverse at about 350. When I'm done sanding while the lathe is spinning, then I'll sand these flat spots separately through all of the same grits up to 400. And I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. So that's going to be pretty easy. I'll see you back here in just a bit and we'll figure out some kind of finish for this. See you in a bit. You know, wood is just such an important part of our lives. And you show it a little bit of love and it just loves you back. And it's just a beautiful thing. And what would we do without wood? Holy cow. I said this is plain grain, and it is. But if you look carefully, it's not all that plain. And it's so smooth and hard. This particular piece of wood is so hard. It just tickles me. I can't help it. So this is sanding sealer. Shellac based sanding sealer. It's called Zinsser Seal Coat. I don't get anything to tell you that. I'm just telling you that's what I'm using. It comes in a can ready to use. I don't do anything to it at all. And this piece did surprise me a little with some of that pretty nice grain. I don't know what you call that grain that I was just showing you. This right here. I don't know what you call that. But it's cool. So I'll put on 2 coats of this and 1 or 2 coats of shellac. I know I've always said 2 coats of shellac, and I've always applied 2 coats of shellac, but lately I guess I've been favoring a slightly less shiny surface. I might put on 2, I don't know, 1 or 2. I'll let you know whatever I end up doing. Okay, so I will put on 2 coats of this, and then I'll put the shellac on, and I'll bring you back when it's time to start working on the inside, and I'm excited for that, now that I see a little bit of grain in here. Okay, see you in a bit. I have the piece turned around with the chuck jaws expanded into the recess. We're going to be using a 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on, 580 RPM. I just want to see where I am here edgewise. That's probably just about right. I'm going to do a little shear scraping on the side wall here. Hard to do with that unevenness. Kind of crummy, but we'll fix it. I'm sure I have a ways to go here, but let's see what that ways is. Oh yeah, long ways. Another inch. Now I'm gonna go sharpen up. What I've been doing is watching the distance between here and here. When I started, that was about a 1/4 inch. So now I've got pretty close to 1 inch. About a 1/2 inch to go, I guess. Boy, I'm really worried about this. It's just really torn up here on the side. You know, I think I'm going to try my scraper. Let me put a fresh burr on there. I'll be right back. I'd like to get that cleaned up before I go much deeper. Yeah, that's way better. Still there a little bit. I'm pretty sure that'll sand out. It's just, I just can't get it. I just can't. I'm only hitting in 2 spots. I'll try once more. That's about as gentle as I can be. Yeah, that's better too. This side's good. Okay, I can live with that. Now what did I say, another ½ inch? So see where we are here? Okay, another ¼ inch. Okay, that's thin enough. Okay, time for sanding. I didn't show it earlier when I was working on the outside, but I sanded the bark with my Sandoflex. Many of you have seen me do that before. That's not why I didn't show it. I didn't show it because I kind of forgot that I needed to do it, and so I just did it as a matter of sanding the outside when I was doing that. Now I've also already spot sanded the torn grain that I had over here. So that's pretty much gone. I don't see any more torn grain in there at all. So I'm going to start sanding at 100 grit with my 2-inch disc. I'll have the lathe spinning forward at 350, and I'll show you what that looks like as soon as I get my mask on. Oops, sorry. So that's what that looks like, and I'll do that up through 400. By spot sanding, what I mean is I just held the piece in place like this, and I just went like this to get rid of that torn grain that was on there. No big deal. I've shown that before as well. So I'll do this for a bit, and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. I don't know if I'll need a brush for the bark or not. It's not very thick bark, it's not heavy, so I'll try it with a rag first. Now this is what I think will bring out the color of the rest of the piece. And it does, but I think I will need a brush. I've got it on there, but it's not very thick. So I'll just use one of these little acid brushes for that. Yeah, that's better. I have to be careful that I don't get this over the edge because that's all got sanding sealer and shellac on it out there already. Well, I have to admit I like this piece pretty well. It's definitely different. Definitely an oddball. But that's the fun of it, isn't it? Okay. So I'll put on 2 coats of shellac, or 2 coats of sanding sealer, 1 coat of shellac, which is what I did on the outside. I didn't want this to be super shiny. It has a nice glow about it. So I'll bring you back here in a little bit and we'll take a good look at it. Be sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can see the before and after shot to this piece. If you'd share the video, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Well, you know what? This just doesn't look as screw wacky as I thought it was going to, now that it's off the lathe. It kind of looks like one of those sculptures. Maybe you don't know quite what to think about it, so you have to consider on it for a while. But I really like it. Whatever it is. It's a bowl. It's a bowl, quite functional as a bowl. And it's flawless. No matter where you look, it's perfect. No torn grain, no tool marks, it doesn't even have a crack in it. No bug holes, no nothing. And it's so comfortable to hold, to feel. It's just really, really nice. Really, really nice. Nice tight grained wood. I love the bark on there and what it does to the rest of the piece. I don't think it's too much bark. Valerie will be the judge of that, I think. But it's just nice. I wish we would have run into that on the inside. I'm really surprised we did not. But we didn't. It's just not there at all. I wish you could feel this one. I just wish you could. It's so smooth, I feel like I'm going to drop it at any second here. Well, that's another one. One holly bowl in the books. Thank you, Dave from Calmwood Creations, for sending this along for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, thank you very kindly. I truly appreciate that. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I love reading them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.